everyone, welcome to the leg stretch session this evening. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all looking forward to it and ready to go. So it's 30 minutes, it's going to go quite quick. We'll look at all areas of the leg muscles and most of it's going to be standing. So if you bring yourselves to a nice standing position, I'll just alter my camera slightly. So just work at your level. If I'm giving different levels and different options, please just choose the level that works for you. We need to start by getting the muscles warm. So shoulders down. I am a Pilates teacher, so there's going to be a lot of Pilates technique in the way that I teach stretches. So it's about learning how to do things effectively and efficiently and what's right for your body. So you're going to start by bending, try to touch the floor if you can, and just pushing through the heels to start and get the warmth into the muscles. And we're going to use breath. Exhale as you stand. So you'll notice that my breathing is pretty loud. Plenty of oxygen in. And really releasing that carbon dioxide out. Can you add a reach up? So push through the heels, everyone. Make sure you're not letting those abdominals just hang out. So you're drawing your abdominals in. Last 5. Push through the heels, use your glutes. And hold it there. Give those ankles a rotation. Switch sides. So we're going to take these into full hip rolls. Don't worry about the height that you get the leg. Just feel the thigh circulating in the hip socket. Shoulders down. And some of you might really want to slow it right down, especially if your hips are quite clicky. It might be uncomfortable for some of you, so don't take the circles too big. 2 more each side. Good, and then we're going to face this direction. Long step forwards with the front leg and keep your weight centered. Yeah, so we're not rocking forwards, we're not leaning back, we are centered. Start to draw the back heel down. So we're going to start to lift, push the floor away, and then draw the back heel down. You'll notice that my spine is in what we call neutral. So I'm just standing naturally. I've got those natural curves and arches in my back. I'm not popping my chest out and I'm not popping my bum out and overarching in my lower spine. If you can keep the heel down here, please do. We're going to bend forwards in that front leg. For some of you, that stretch will be quite intense on the back leg. Just hold it there. If you need to come in and out of it, please do. Those of you who can, you're going to start to tilt forwards. Now, what's really useful sometimes is if you have a wall there or something that's sturdy, that isn't going to fall over if you push against it, that is really good to push against, and it helps you deepen into the stretch. So shoulders are down still. Even if you've got your arms lifted onto something, your shoulders are down and away. Stay here. So this is level 2. Those of you going to level 3, you can straighten your front leg and you can keep it there, or you can start to hinge forward, maintaining your neutral spine. So don't start to hinge forwards if this happens and you start curving, because it's going to take the emphasis away from where we're trying to target, which is this back leg down and then underneath at the back of this thigh. The more you hinge forward, the more you're going to deepen into the stretch. For those of you who are a little bit more flexible and want a little bit more, bring the hands down to the floor. So you let your head hang. So wherever you are, choose your level, hold it there, and I want you to deep breathe into it. Make sure that you're not tensing the thighs in your either leg. Those of you who are resting down on the floor, bend your front knee. Use your heels to push into the floor and bring your weight up to standing. Bring yourselves to center. Don't go to the other side just yet. So we've got wide legs here. The wider the legs, the better. Bend your knees out to the sides, drop your pelvis down. One of my favorite movements and mobility exercises to do. So the spine is neutral again, you're sitting tall. You only lower the pelvis as low down as you can go before you start to tip. So we're down, the knees are wide. Just check that your heels are in alignment. If you've got some imbalances, one foot might go further back than the other without you even noticing. So just be mindful of that as well. Knees wide and back, drop the pelvis down. Breathe, shoulders down, arms are heavy. We're going to shift side to side. So yes, again, we're starting to get the warmth into those muscles. The idea of stretching is to lengthen the muscles. So if you're someone who does a lot of running, does a lot of high cardio exercise, weights, and you're always contracting your muscles and you never really release and stretch them out, this is what you need to do, these leg stretch sessions. If you can take your arms out, that's an option. It takes it more into strengthen and endurance exercise. And then hold to one side. Stretch the legs wider if you can. If you can bring the toes in, if this foot, please do. Either stand tall or drop the pelvis into it. Rest on the thigh if you like with your hand or forearm. Sink your pelvis down. So make sure this knee doesn't start to roll in and it's over your ankle. Option to bring the top arm up and over. Deep breaths, feel stretched and long. Can you lower it down? Some of you will start to lower down all the way to the floor. It depends on your flexibility. You can lift your leg and rotate it round so your foot rotates up towards the ceiling. If this is not for you, stay lifted, stay standing. It just depends on the flexibility in your legs. So wherever you are on your exhale, you're breathing out and you're deepening down into that stretch. If you're down here, you're going to slowly make your way up and take it to the other side. So ease into it. Give time to the muscles. Use your breath. Sink into it. You can lean down if you like. Hand or forearm. Turn the toe in of the opposite leg. And sink the pelvis down. Option to bring arm up and over or just keep it on your waist. With every exhale, you should feel the muscles relax. Those of you coming down, control yourselves down. If you want to rotate your knee up towards the ceiling, you can. You can flex or point or relax your foot. So lovely deep breaths where you are. As you exhale, try and relax the muscles, please. And then slowly make your way back out of that stretch. And then we're going to turn to this side to do your stretch that we did on the opposite side. If you remember, we started by sending the heel up and then releasing down. So we keep the front knee bent to start with. So we release the heel down and all the time you're thinking of your spine being pulled up to the ceiling. So you keep that nice neutral position. A lot of this is balance work as well. So it's all core stability work. Okay, we're going to hold that back heel down just as close as you can to the floor. Okay. From here, we're going to bend forwards into it if you can, into a diagonal. Now make sure your lower back doesn't do this. So you're not pushing and arching out. If you can start to hinge forward a little bit more, please do. Okay, that's a progression. Those of you who can straighten the front leg, straighten it. That's going to add a lot of intensity now into the stretch and into the front leg as well. Balance, of course. Send your rib cage down to your hips, and you can hinge forward as far as you can. Those of you who aren't and you're working on stretching that back leg down, if you've got a wall there or a piece of sturdy furniture, push against it. Then you'll progress and deepen into that stretch. Those of you coming all the way down, maintaining neutral spine, let your hands come down, let your body be heavy. So you rest it down into the floor. Relax your thighs, everyone, don't squeeze. Lovely, lovely, lovely deep breath. So the longer we hold these stretches, the more time we're giving to our body, the more time we're letting our body get used to it. And most of all, the leg is lengthening. So we want those muscles to lengthen and stretch out. Don't push too far. Good. Those of you who are further down, bend your knee, push through your front heel to come up to standing. Reset, turn yourselves to center. Well done. Shuffle your feet in. We're going to go straight into figure of four stretch. Some of you may want to do this sitting down. Some of you may want to hold onto a door. So what we're going to do is cross the front leg over your thigh. Your pelvis stays level. So this is definitely a balance challenge. If you need to sit down, you can do your figure of four seated. What you do from there is you push your hips back and you start to tilt and hinge forwards with the torso. You lower down into that leg, and the more you lower down and back with your hips and the more you tilt forwards in your diagonal, you're going to feel this in the glute at the back of this bent leg, okay? So it's still about engaging your abs. You're softening your foot into the floor. Some of you will want the extra challenge of bringing your arms up, okay? Some of you will keep them on your hips. Take a seat if you need it. It's an option. If you want to add a little bit more, you can apply some body weight pressure on the inside of your leg to draw your knee out and wide and down. So, nice deep breaths. So your breathing should be as loud and heavy as mine. One more deep breath. Release out of that and let's switch sides. So the exact same stretch, I know I keep repeating myself, can be done seated. I want you to know that you have options. Find your balance if you are standing. If you want to lean on something, please do. And ease yourself into it. Push your bum and hips as far back as you can. Bend your knee into the floor. So your supporting foot, the surface area should be spread into the floor. So you shouldn't just be resting on one side of the foot. Stay centered. Draw your abdominals in. Balance challenge is to bring the arms out. Option if you want to deepen the stretch a little bit, apply some body weight on the inside of the leg. Draw the knee down and away. Keep pushing the hips back. Send your rib cage down to your hips. That's just going to help you not overarch in your lower back. Nice deep breaths, everyone. Shoulders down. Release out of that. And we're going to go straight into some stretches for your quads. So, legs together. Hold the back of your lower part of the leg if you can. Just be gentle with the ankle, and if you're holding the foot, be gentle for definite. So, bend your knee into the floor, knees together, and then send the hips forwards. If that's not for you, you can use a chair, and you can rest one knee on there, and you can push your hip forward into it. You might be able to bring your leg up a little bit, and it gives you that support using the chair, especially if you can't reach around to your leg. So it's all about sending your hip line forwards, standing tall and drawing those shoulders down and back. Some of you might be able to clasp your hands and hold your leg in both of your hands together. We're still trying to keep the rib cage down, so we're not popping the chest out. Every time you exhale, get taller. Send the knee down towards the floor. So you feel that length in the full torso. Those of you who would like to progress, who can, send the leg further back, but maintain that alignment in the body. So the knee goes back, you deepen the stretch, you're still trying to send the hips forwards, but the knee goes back and long. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Control it down, release, and switch sides. So you can hold with one arm, you can use your other arm to balance on, or you can keep it out to the side. You can use that chair, remember, if you've got something similar, your sofa, to rest your knee on. And let's talk about the teaching points in this exercise. So remember, it's knees together if you can. It's pelvis pushing forwards and thigh pushing forwards. Your shoulders are down, your rib cage is down, connecting to your core. So you want your core stability switched on to help with balance here. Soften that supporting leg as well, just slightly so you're not locking out. Option to hold the leg with two hands. You can clasp the fingers. And if you want to progress every time you exhale, you just start to lengthen the thigh and the knee down and away as you still push forward in the hip. So you try and maintain that nice posture, but you lengthen the leg long, down and back. Breathe, everyone. Good, and release it there. Give the legs a little bit of a shake and a rotation. Good, and we're going to come down to lying on our back. So find a comfortable position. If you've got a mat or something soft that you can lie on, bring yourselves down to that now. So we're going to work on inner thighs. Bring yourselves carefully down to your lying position. Bring your feet together, knees together, inner thighs together, and then let the knees fall out to the side. So let gravity do the work here. We're going to focus a bit on relaxation as well, and just allowing the body to be really heavy. So sink those shoulders away from your ears. Feel the full spine lengthen along the floor. Don't worry about how low down the legs get, okay? It's not about that. If you can and you want to progress, you can actually bring your legs off the floor and then draw your legs out to the side. I recommend holding your legs there, not forcing them up or anything like that, but just letting those arms be a little bit of a dead weight at the same time to help increase the stretch, not forcing it though. Please don't tuck your pelvis. There's still a lot of technique in your stretches. If you were to tuck your pelvis, it would look like this and you'd be tipping your bum off the floor. We are aiming for a lengthened spine. Level 3, you would reach for the arches of the feet and then draw the knees down. You're still not lifting your hips off the floor. Again, it would look like that. Yeah, we're trying to keep that long spine on the floor or the mat. Draw the arches of the feet down. So if this isn't for you, keep your feet down and open the legs out and enjoy that stretch on your inner thighs. Those of you who can progress from this stretch, you can stretch one leg out, bend the other. You don't have to straighten your leg fully. So you can keep a nice soft bend in the leg and then switch side. But it's only the legs that are moving. You're not lifting your hips and rolling your pelvis off the floor. Some of you will open both your legs out. You don't have to fully straighten them into the splits. You can have that soft bend. So as you can tell, there is numerous options for this stretch. And it definitely is not about pushing to the extreme. It's not about stretching to the furthest point of where your muscle feels like it's going to literally snap. So it's not about that. It's about taking your time, practicing your stretches to gain your flexibility. Melt the shoulders down into the mat. Hold your stretch, but you're still thinking of deepening every time you exhale. Two more deep breaths, two more inhales and exhales. So as you can tell, the longer we hold these stretches, the more the muscles in the legs are going to start to relax. Good. Let's take it into your hamstrings. So if you have a scarf or a resistance band or some piece of material, place it around the arch of your left foot. Send that foot up to the ceiling. Slight bend in the leg if you need it. There's lots of variations with this stretch as well. If you can, you're going to stretch your opposite leg along the floor. If that's not for you, keep it bent. I'd prefer you to have your pelvis down, connected to the floor rather than lifting and tucking. So if you can point your toes, if you've got flexibility, point the toes, and as you exhale, draw the leg in. If that's not for you, slight bend. Relax the foot, still focusing on drawing the leg in on your exhale. Some of you won't need a scarf or a resistance band and you'll hold behind the thigh. Do keep your shoulders and your head neck down. Every time you exhale, without forcing it, you're drawing that leg in towards the body. And we're going to start to flex and relax or point. So flex and relax or flex and point the foot, work into the back of your calf. And this stretch isn't about kind of drawing that kneecap in and squeezing your thigh and trying to straighten the back of the knee at all. It's about keeping a slight relaxation in the leg, but you're still lengthening at the same time. So you're still trying to get that leg longer. If the flex and relax or flex and point isn't for you, just keep the foot still. And you can hold it here, just relax the foot, or you can bring it into your IT band. If you've stretched with me before, you would have done this more than likely with me. This is about not lifting your sit bones off the floor. So even though the leg's stretching over the diagonal, my shoulder's not lifting and rotating, my hips aren't lifting off the mat. From here, if you want to delve deeper into IT band, so your IT band is your iliotibial going up the side of your outer thigh, you can flex your foot and that delves really deep into the muscle group. You're still sending your hips down and you can draw the leg in closer. Please don't hold your breath. Get used to exhaling to deepen and lengthen into it. One more deep breath. Good. Open the leg out to the same side. Now you can bend this leg as much as you need to. Make sure those shoulders are down still. Open the leg out, but keep the opposite side of the body down. So if you've got that resistance band, hold it in the opposite hand if you want. Hold your leg in the same hand to give you a bit of support. Bend the leg as much as you need to. Those who are flexible, straighten the leg, and then you draw the leg higher up the side of the body. This side of the body does not lift. It stays down, so don't take the leg out too far. It's about doing what's right for you. Couple more deep breaths here. Good. Bend the knee, bring yourselves in. Just roll that thigh in the hip socket a few times. Find that lovely circling movement. And then if you're using a band or a scarf, place it around the arch of the opposite foot. Send that leg up without forcing it. Point the toes if you can. Stretch the other leg away if you can. If not, keep it bent, okay? And send the leg in. Lengthen it. Elongate the toes if you can. Every time you exhale, we're drawing the leg in. Please ensure the back of the pelvis is connected to the mat. This is one of my favorite stretches. Shoulders down, deep breaths. So feel like the spine and the neck is elongating along the floor. You're not scrunching up, the shoulders are down and relaxed. Those of you who can, you can flex and relax, or flex and point the foot. So we delve deeper into those muscles. You're still trying with every exhale, just to subtly draw the leg in towards the center. Good. Relax the foot. If you're choosing to take an IT band stretch today, only shift your leg across the diagonal. Don't start to roll and lift in your hips. Send your hips down and away. Make sure the shoulder stays down. Once you get to your furthest point, hold it there. Keep lengthening the leg. Option to flex the foot. Shoulders down. One more deep breath. Good. Bring the leg back to the center. If you're opening the leg out, you can choose to keep it centered. If you're opening the leg out, I would recommend holding your leg in the same hand. If you've got that scarf or resistance band, send that opposite arm over, holding it, but keep the opposite side of the body connected to the floor. Now you can bend that leg, as I was saying before, or you can slightly bend or straighten it. It really does depend on the individual. Don't force it. As you exhale, draw the leg up higher to the side of the body. Only melt the leg down as far as you feel comfortable, and really draw this side of the body down towards the floor. Breathe into it. Bend that knee before you bring it back in. Take a few circles of the thigh and the hip socket, increasing that mobility in the pelvis, in the hips. Draw the legs into you. Take a little rock side to side. Give the legs a hug. Hug those legs in as comfortably as you can. If you're quite tight in the hip flexors, that might feel quite pressuring actually to draw the legs in a little bit. Still feel that the spine is lengthening along the floor, shoulders down. Take a few deep breaths here. Melt the body down. Take a full body stretch, bring those arms over your head, lengthen the legs away. Really stretch the fingers away from the toes. Feel tall, feel longer. Push the heels away, lengthen the fingers. Bring the arms to the sides. Just let the knees rotate and the feet fall out. Take a few breaths here, just focusing on the head, being really heavy and sinking down into the floor. Your pelvis being really heavy as well, drawing you down into the floor, relaxing your body. Every time you exhale, sink down. Feel the body relax. Relax the toes and the fingers. Last breath. Start to wriggle the toes and just start to peel and slide the feet and the hands inwards. Drop the knees to the front of the room. Roll yourselves up. Just be careful. Don't rush up to seated. And just sit comfortably there to finish. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. Say thank you to yourselves just for allowing that 30 minutes to invest in you. Okay? It goes quick, but 30 minutes for a little bit of you time and investing in your muscles and your body, and especially your mind, is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining me. If you can't get enough and you want to do a morning stretch with me, I'm back on here Wednesday, 7:30 for 15 minutes. So it's mobilization, stretching, it's live and it's open to the public. So just come onto my channel and I'll be there tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely evening and catch up with you soon. Bye for now.